Hey, welcome back. We're back in our Iron Tooth colony, and last time we started putting down some dynamite for this mine, so we're going to start this time by just blowing those up and getting the mine set up here. There we go. So we got to get that. Got a weird angle, I think, but I'm pretty sure we can get that. There we go, just like that. We'll put the needed... There we go. Stairs in there. Connect in those pieces. There we go. And we'll get our mine all set to go. Now, here we did get our foundries in. We've got scrap metal. So I'm going to change this one to ingots because we're going to need some of those for our project today. What I want to try and do is over here, we're going to try and get some bots built. So that'll be mainly what we're heading for, but we've got a whole lot of projects today. So let's start with this. We're going to have to make this area slightly bigger. Let's go ahead and put those in. And then we are going to put in one staircase so that they can reach there. Also, I noticed we could put a couple ladders in here and have another way down. Let's go ahead and connect them in here. There we go. Get that one in there. Get that one in there. Then they're all connected. And we just have to wait for them to actually get all that built in there. In fact, they got the first two. They just need that third one out of there. There we go. Something else I think we're going to definitely need here is we have one university, but I think we need a second campus because just having the one university to bring in all of the different stuff we need is taking a lot of time. So we're just going to grab one. We're going to make a second one right over here, hopefully. Let's turn that around. We'll put you, let's say, here. And then now that the universities need power, we're just going to put a power out the back here. It's kind of weird that it's kind of indented there because there's no power that specifically goes in that way. But we can do that, and then we'll just grab another quick power plant. There we go. We'll flip it around, and it's going to have to go there. But it looks like we're going to have to take out some of these berries, which is not a big deal. We've got things making berries here. We'll get those handled. Let's have them go ahead, set that up. We should have everything that we need to get that set up. And then we'll set this one. We're going to need, not the robotics. Let's start on the humanities because we're going to need a couple of those as well. Something else we're going to need, I eventually want a pilot's license from here. So we're going to take one more of these and we're going to put that down. Now, I did a little bit of research. You can put these right next to the other launch pads. However, if you want a balloon on top of them, you can't actually do that. You actually have to put them this far apart. It's kind of the minimum distance for the balloons to fit in there, which is kind of strange, but that's okay. There we go. And we're going to get another scouting balloon. And then I would also like some more of these insect larvae. They take a while, and we're going to need them for the glowing fluid. So let's go ahead and expand out our airport as well. You know what? I don't like how these are going. We could probably make this a lot more precise. So let's put, you know what? Instead of having this, we could go two different directions. And to do that, let's put up just a platform right about there. Let's get one of those on there. We'll put one of these right on the roadway so that we can send the line down there. And then here, you know what? We probably don't need one. We should be able to reach this from this balloon over here. We'll see here in a minute. But let's get a couple more of these balloon pads. And we'll just toss them in right here. Do I want it there? Or, you know what? I think it looks kind of better there. And then we're going to do a balloon pad here. We're going to have a balloon under a balloon. And we're going to make both of those the larva. There we go. grab that, put you on top of here. There we go. Well, maybe sometimes lining them up is the tough part. Now here, we're going to need a ton of gears for all of this. I can already see that incoming. So what I want to do is come over here. We've got gear workshops. Let's go ahead and make a couple more of those. But I want to look at some alternate ways of getting gears. And what comes to mind is there's a recipe over here in the mine that lets us make gears. Let's check our science, and we're going to need more dirt eventually. Let's put maybe a couple of those in there. Yep. And then that can go there. And then we're going to need some kind of underground factory. There we go. 5 gears in a half hour is way better than what we're doing right now. So let's put one of those in too. Those, I think, require a bachelor in humanities, but luckily we're grabbing those. These, I don't think, require anything except them being built. So we'll get those going. I do want to go ahead and cover this, like we said we were going to do last time. There we go. Cover that, but we're going to make it low priority because dirt blocks take forever to build for these guys. Also, we've got some sequoias coming in here pretty soon, but that doesn't mean we won't need more in the future. So I'm just going to grab this, and we're going to put you... Where would be a good place to put you? How about... right about there? Looks good? Yeah. And we'll plant the sequoias whenever they get those in. That might take a while, so we'll say that's pretty low priority. They'll get back to that whenever they can. There was a mention that somehow we forgot to connect this up last time, so we're going to go ahead and put the horizontal T-shaft in here the right way. There we go. Let's say that's high priority so we're not missing out on any power. And then we're going to come through and redo this as well. So I want to go ahead and... well, you know what? We better wait until this is done. That way we're still hooked up to power. They're close enough. There we go. Let's remake this section into the larger water wheels. This project might take just a little bit. We've still got some of the smaller power wheels here too, because I think that was all that was fitting at the time. There we go. We don't really need the batteries anymore either, so let's go ahead and clean up this mess. We don't need our tall battery anymore. We don't need either of those. We can reclaim a lot of that. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of these. Get rid of this. We don't need these old ones anymore. We're just tossing a whole bunch of stuff into the river. There we go. Let's go ahead and we will connect these across so that they can come through and hopefully pick up some of these items that are laying down here in the river. All of this can go too, can't it? All right, let's get rid of all of that. There we go. That can go. These can go. All of this can go. And then we'll figure out, first of all, these aren't going to connect in because they're going to be at a slightly higher height. So let's get rid of those two. We'll make that into a universal. We'll make this into a universal and say that those are fairly high priority. Come through and put in the big water wheels here. There we go. We'll get one started here that should be connected into everything else. That doesn't look like it's needed anymore. We'll connect that back. There we go. We'll leave that in case that's where that happens to come out. But we'll work on putting these up just as soon as we can get them there. But it looks like they've got some cleanup to do first. They got our dynamite in, so we can finally take that out. And we can come into science and get our bot assembler finally. Let's go ahead. We'll put you in right there. Yep, we got the science for it. And we're going to need to change this out. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Let's put in... Gotta turn that shaft. There we go. That goes in the right way. We'll say that's high priority. This doesn't have to be high priority. They can get it done whenever they want. However, along with this, we need a area that they can kind of be attached to, which is just this bot hauling area. We'll put that in. It's pretty cheap. They just kind of stand there. So since they never need hauling, or not hauling, they never need charging. That's what they never need, because they're nuclear powered robots. They just kind of wait until they have something to haul. Now, they pretty much always have something to haul, but just in case, we're going to leave that like that. We've got plenty of nuclear waste and fuel even to get started on some of these. Looks like we're still low on glowing fluid, but we worked on that some last time with the extra bugs, but we also worked on it some this time, getting the extra larva. What do we need to get these in there? It looks like there's a couple of things we need. Let's go ahead and say that these are a little bit more important so that those can get in there. That needs to be done. This needs to be done. We'll get those set back up. This one also needs to be done. So we've got this area is kind of our high priority. Other than our university here, we can always come back to that. That we can leave for a little bit later. Hopefully they can handle that. You know what? I've got 28 beavers that just aren't doing anything. So we're gonna use that trick where you just basically make a tower and a shed here, a barn, and get some beavers out there. There used to be a whole hauling tower that you could use for the extra beavers, but that got taken out. So we're going to have to do it this way. So let's go ahead. We'll actually grab a there it is, a forester. We'll get a forester. We'll get the lumberjack barn next to it. And can we get a second one in here? Nope, but we can get it across the road, which should be something like this and something like that, maybe? Let's see if we can get both of those in there. Then we just toss hauling towers on top of them, which I believe that's here. There's our builder towers. Let's grab the builder tower. That one goes there, and this one goes here. There we go. And now all we need are a couple of ladders here and there to get them all fixed up. Oops, will that not work? Because you know what? We don't honestly need access to either of the buildings. We just need access to the top. So we're just going to cover up the entrance, and then we'll pause them once they're built, because all they're there for is to hold up the towers for them to hang out in. So we'll let them build and then go from there. With some of the resource counters thresholds starting to be a little strange and them getting stuck in certain points, I wanted to go ahead, while we've got this set up, go ahead and do the memory so that we can have more of a range of things and hope that they don't get stuck there either. So we're going to grab the memory module and we're going to just build a whole bunch of these here. There we go. I am going to need ladders to get up to them. So let's go ahead and put those up, but they don't need direct connections. Whenever they've got those built, we'll come back and set the memory to actually pull in a range instead of just one specific number, and hopefully that makes our colony work a little bit better. But while we're here, and speaking of storage, I do want to get the biggest storage that we can for water, which is this gargantuan tank, which is now built into the tower. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Now it gives us 30 beaver inhabitants, which Admittedly, it's probably more than I need, but we'll find a way to shuffle people around. Hopefully the automation starts helping with shutting things down. But we're going to start this one off. We're going to just do water, and we're going to say it's a whatever kind of water. It doesn't need to necessarily be here, but it also doesn't necessarily need to go out from here. So we'll leave that going and see if they can get that built this time. They managed to get our university in here, and there seems to be a bit of flooding that always occurs, but in the past we've just kind of ignored it. So we might have to figure out something for that eventually. But for now, what we really need is an engine to keep this running. There we go. And we'll put this in there. And that should hopefully allow everything to work. Let's say that's pretty important, so we can go ahead and start on those humanities. We did do our robotics, our PhD in robotics. Did we already get to this yet? Or nope, that's not quite done. Let's say this construction site's a little more important, so we can get those bots coming in, because they haul quite a bit of stuff. Let's once again remove all that, remove those, and all of these, and all of those. These brambles just do not want to go away. We have got our hauler towers in, which gave us 16 more, or I'm sorry, builders. Builders in, and that gave us 16 more builders, which is probably why the building sped up quite a bit. We've got both of our balloon traders in, so hopefully we can get more of the... I don't know that I need those prioritized by haulers. As long as they're getting some books, they should be okay. And same thing here. Are you done? You are definitely done, but are you... There you go. Yep, it's got the same thing. It's almost back with some more larvae, which should mean here soon we should have more of the fluid. We've got our bad water, correct? Make the mixture? Yeah, we've got plenty of that. We might go ahead, though, and toss down some storage. I think it may be the warehouse that these are stored in. Yeah, so let's get that. We'll say those coming in. That way they don't have to go get them. But it looks like, yep, they've got an insect larva there. They've got one there. They don't have any. They don't have any. So hopefully we get these guys their insect larvae so that they can start making that glowing fluid, which is going to become more and more important. Over in the corner over here, we've got the tree nursery in. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to plant those golden sequoias just wherever it will allow us to do that. So probably in about that area. And if you look, our main ones actually are ready to go, meaning we could look into some more projects that require these sequoias. In fact, what I really want to do is over here, you can see we've got the single hydroponic cabbage farm going, which is fine. It's working, but if we could get some more of these, we could probably eliminate some more of the other ones. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start building upward on this structure. Let's go ahead and grab our... They should be under the platforms. Here they are. We're going to need the base. And this is going to have to go on all four corners. Yep, we're going to buy those. Each of those, or at least one of those logs. Oops, I don't need that one. There we go. And then we're also going to get the platform. So we're going to put that on there. And that kind of creates a roof, which will let us go in and say, let's go and grab, what should we grab? What are we always having issues with? We always seem to have issues with sunflower seeds, but that seems to be past. The rice is about at a halfway. So let's go ahead and we'll do a rice hydroponic farm there. There we go. And we'll get in, we'll do, let's see, this is the vertical. There we go. Do I need another vertical? Yep. And then I need a universal there. There we go. And we'll even get ladders up to it so that they can get in there. And a lot of this will eventually be taken care of by the bots that we're making here. Oh, speaking of which, we got our PhD in robotics. So let's come over and... oh, first we got to get over to the university. There we are. And we don't need another PhD in robotics. So let's go ahead and aim for that pilot's license. We will get there as soon as we can. We haven't got the second scouting balloon done yet. Let's up that. It looks like we're out of pencil sets. Okay. Well, chain reaction. We have to just go down the line and make sure everything's in there. Let's change you to pencils for a bit. What do you have? You have tools, but you're not making any. And you have... are we out of scrap metal? We're out of scrap metal. So you're making the silicon. You're still making glass. Let's switch you over to the scrap and get you caught up with that. How is our power doing? Power's doing all right. It's hanging in there. It's still slowly charging our giant glowing battery here. And then we can go ahead and get that in. Oh, look, they've got our large tank in. So I think that might mean it's a good time to come over here and make sure that the automation is set up correctly. We're going to grab this one and we're just going to rename it to resource water. And we're going to make this the high counter. And I'm going to rename the one that's next to it, the berries, to resource water low. And basically, it's going to turn on if it is above 90%. So currently it is above 90%. Is that where I have that at? No, it's not. It is, if the measurement is greater than 90, it will turn on. If it is, the measurement is lower than 40, yeah, let's go about 50. 50%. There we go. Then it will be on. So measurement greater than, nope, measurement other way. There we go. Other way, 50%. And then we're going to program this one. We're going to call this mem water range. There you go. And I want to take the first one and we'll say if this one is on, it can be on until this one comes on and resets it. Nope, I'm sorry. That's the wrong way around. I clicked the wrong ones. That one and this one. So when the water comes on, this will be on until this one resets it back to nothing. But for right now, they should both be off, which is fine. And I can go around and we will change all of these. Not water low, but memory range. And copy that to all of them that are built and will be built. There we go. All of those get copied in. Holy cow, we have a lot of these. I never realized how many of these we had. Next episode, we might have a way to start reducing the number here. Then we can change these beavers into something else. Or we can just, you know, let the population slowly go down. But we'll let them work on that and we'll come back in another minute and see what they've got to. We did finally get our balloon in over here, which means we can reroute this one. So if we take that out of there and then reroute it to the balloon, there we go. Balloon needs to be routed to here, which this is no longer needed. There we go. And you can be added right into there. There we go. And then we'll add one all the way over to there. That lets us get our balloon all hooked up. Our routes are all hooked back up there. Planted some of the sequoias over here. I do need to get in a feller here. Something we can use to cut them down. Which hopefully that reaches... looks like it reaches all of them. We'll put it there and hope for the best. If not, we'll find a better place for it. They've already came through, I think, and knocked down a couple of the sequoias. They've got started on this. We're moving forward. We've got more quartz coming in than ever. We do need to find... Yep, looks like we need to unload these again. There we go. Maybe we should make a mod that just occasionally pauses these and clears out the drill. You know what? We don't need any of these anymore while we're here, so let's go ahead and take those out of there. Because most of the water could now be held over there at the main area. They can come by and pick all that up and move it over to there. This is basically the same way. We're just going to get rid of all of those. They can go out. We're already there. Let's take one more look at our factories here. There we go. We've got pencils again, so let's switch back to tools for you. Let's switch to your doing tools. Let's do the logs, and you've got fasteners, so let's do robot parts, and we'll see if we can get all of those in. Over here, are they making... We probably don't need any more of those. Let's go ahead and we'll make drill bits there. They've got the metal blocks there. They've got them there. So we should be okay. We just need more time to go. Oh, would you look at that? We've got our bot assembler up. We don't have any processors, so we're going to go ahead and come over here. And are you working on the humanities already? No, you're not. So make me a processor. It looks like they can make a couple a day as long as they've got the stuff. The silicone metal ingots, did we ever pick up any of those? Silicone, yeah, we've got 12 of them, so we can at least make a couple of bots, hopefully. And then we can switch you back to maybe the humanities after that. There we go. There's our first bot out. I remember these bots being a lot bigger. I don't know what happened to them. But they do have a huge amount of hauling capacity. However, often they only pick up like one thing, maybe two, and move it. But occasionally you'll see them pick up the max weight. And it's pretty nice to have all of that moved. So we probably won't need as many haulers, but we'll keep them on for now until we start getting more and more bots. It's going to take a little bit, though, to fill up all the bots there. Like he's moving all of the stuff in our alcohol area. Yep, just moving them out. We'll let him keep at that, but I think that'll wrap it up for this time. Next time, I'm going to try and look at an alternate solution to all of these different water pumps. Maybe we can figure something out there. I'd like to maybe take a look at this bad water area, as I would like just good water flowing down from here. And we'll take a look. We were going to do some bananas here, but maybe we'll find a different place to put in some bananas next time. But until then, just want to say thank you very much for stopping by and hope to see you next time. Bye!